iPhone 13 versus 13 Pro. 8 things you should know. Welcome to Finding Tech. We're aware that the iPhone 13 series has been launched recently and everybody is curious about what Apple is giving in its new series, so we can differentiate easily. The most popular series is simple, 13 and 13 Pros. What are the major differences that we should know? We'll discuss in this video. But before getting to the video, make sure to like the video, subscribe our Finding Tech channel, and click on the bell icon to keep yourself notified about the latest coming videos. Now let's get to the video. Below are the most important features we should know about iPhone 13 and 13 Pros. iPhone 13 versus 13 Pro. Design. Yes, iPhone 13. Apple didn't shy away from or skip the lucky number. Even though the shell is so similar to the iPhone 12, they could have every bit as easily made this an S year and just punted that non-problem down the calendar another year. The biggest design difference is the camera module, which on the non-Pros is now diagonal to fit the bigger cameras, and the colors black, blue, and red remain. Though the black is more indigo midnight, blue is a little teal, and red a lot deeper. White has been replaced with slightly yellow starlight and mint green with pale pink. Also gone is purple, which was a spring addition to the 12, so we'll have to wait and see if Apple drops orange or something else early next year. On the Pros, the cameras are also bigger, just totally shamelessly, unabashedly bumped. But the colors are the same, silver, graphite, gold, and blue. Only this year, the blue is less specific and more Sierra, so I guess that means next year we'll be getting iPhone 14 High Sierra. Kidding, I swear. The notch is also 20% smaller by surface area on the iPhone 13, narrow if ever so slightly deeper. It's no less needle-like to my eye, but progress. And while the screen sizes and physical height and width all stayed the same, the depth and weight did go up a bit, 135 to 141 grams for the Mini, 228 to 240 grams for the Max. iPhone 13 versus 13 Pro. Display. All 4 iPhone 13 models keep the same screen sizes as they did previously, with the iPhone 13 mini sporting a 5.4-inch display and the standard iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro both having a 6.1-inch screen. The iPhone 13 Pro Max is the biggest, of course, and has a 6.7-inch display. All 4 models make use of Apple's new Super Retina XDR OLED displays. On the iPhone 12, the display has a typical outdoor brightness of 800 nits and a peak level of 1200 in HDR mode, making for a hike of 28% in brightness. Comparatively, the displays on the iPhone 13 Pro Max models are 1000 nits in typical outdoor use and can also hit a peak of 1200. But the biggest difference between the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro handsets is that the later models have a ProMotion display that sports an adaptive refresh rate, allowing the display to go from a speedy 120Hz to 10Hz through conserved battery life. It's disappointing that Apple didn't give all 4 iPhone 13 handsets a 120Hz display, as we see such high refresh rates in plenty of affordable Android phones. But it's certainly a feature that helps the Pro models stand out from the standard iPhone 13. iPhone 13 versus 13 Pro cameras. All 4 iPhone 13 models deliver impressive phone photography, and the iPhone 13, 13 Pro, and 13 Pro Max have all earned a place on our best camera phones list. But there are notable differences between the pair of rear cameras on the iPhone 13 and the trio of snappers on the iPhone 13 Pro models. The iPhone 13 has a new sensor in its 12-megapixel main camera, which lets in 47% more light for improved nighttime photography, while the 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera gets a faster sensor. Both of these cameras are configured in a diagonal line rather than a vertical one as seen on the iPhone 12, and they deliver impressive results with bright and colorful shots and improved nighttime photography on the ultra-wide camera, as well as 4 times more scene capture. Sensor shift optimization has now been included in the iPhone 13 models, where previously it was an iPhone 12 Pro Max feature. This allows the lens to move and thus better cope with uneven changes of movement. The iPhone 13 models get similar upgrades, but on paper, at least they're more impressive, with wider apertures on the main and ultra-wide cameras and a LiDAR scanner to tap into for night mode portrait shots. The ultra-wide camera now offers what Apple claims is a 92% improvement in low-light photography, and it also has support for a macro mode, allowing users to get close-ups of very small objects. It's with the macro mode where the iPhone 13 Pro phones beat their standard siblings, offering better extreme close-ups. Meanwhile, the telephoto camera on the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max, something the iPhone 13 lacks, has received a solid upgrade. The new 77mm telephoto lens now has a 6 times optical zoom range with a digital zoom of up to 15x. This new telephoto camera not only beats the iPhone 13 by its mere inclusion, but also offers more zooming capabilities than the iPhone 12 Pro, and with a wider 1.5 aperture, it lets in more light too. iPhone 13 versus 13 Pro video. All 4 iPhone 13 handsets can capture video at up to 4K and 60 frames per second, and all phones put in solid point-and-shoot video performance, as has been the case with the past few generations of iPhone. There's also a new cinematic mode for capturing videos with smart near-instant autofocus between different subjects, as well as more dramatic depth of field effects, think portrait mode video but more powerful. But do note that this mode only works on 1080p videos, and in our real-world tests, we found that cinematic mode isn't perfect, with it taking a little longer than expected to recognize faster-moving subjects. Aside from the extra telephoto camera, the iPhone 12 Pro has the advantage in a video by being able to capture using ProRes, Apple's new high-quality lossy video compression format aimed at people who want more control over editing their videos yet don't want to swamp phone storage with uncompressed videos. However, if you only have the 128GB iPhone 12 Pro, then ProRes is limited to shooting 1080p videos at 30 frames per second rather than 4K at the same frame rate. iPhone 13 versus 13 Pro battery. All 4 iPhone 13 handsets have been given a battery boost, though Apple never reveals the actual capacity of its phone's battery packs. And in our testing, which involves continuous web surfing, over 5G with the display set at 150 nits of screen brightness that has borne fruit. The iPhone 13 mini lasted 8 hours and 41 minutes, the iPhone 13 managed 10 hours and 33 minutes, and the iPhone 13 Pro reached 11 hours and 42 minutes, and the iPhone 13 Pro Max topped the charts with a battery life of 12 hours and 16 minutes. So if you want the best battery life, then the iPhone 13 Pro models are the phones to go for, but the iPhone 13 still beats the iPhone 12 for electrical endurance. iPhone 13 versus 13 Pro pricing and availability. There was some weird speculation that pricing was going up for the iPhone 13, which never made any sense to me because Apple buys in such huge volumes and locks in pricing so early, including and especially for things like chipset fabrication, that it's just managed. New nodes will new node, but for this year at least, the iPhone 13 costs exactly what the iPhone 12 cost, starting at $729 for the mini, $829 for the regular, $999 for the Pro, and $1,099 for the Pro Max. Carriers are doing a ton more incentives this year, though, so it's worth checking for trade-ins and other offers. Orders start Friday, September 17th, and all 4 models ship Friday, September 24th. iPhone 13 versus 13 Pro performance. All iPhone 13 models come with the new Apple A15 Bionic chip built on a 5nm process. The chip comes with 6 processor cores, 2 for demanding tasks and 4 for more or less rigorous workloads to increase efficiency. Overall, Apple claims the A15 Bionic offers 50% faster performance than the leading competition. Here's looking at you, Qualcomm. But it's on the graphics side that we see some disparity between the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro. The former has 4 GPU cores, while the latter has 5. Apple claims that iPhone 13 offers 30% better graphics performance than leading Android phones, but noted that the extra core in the A15 Bionic for the iPhone 12 Pro handset will offer 50% more graphics performance than rival chips. In our testing, the iPhone 13 scored 4,129 on the Geekbench 5 multi-core test and 1,684 on the single-core test. The iPhone 13 Pro outperformed it, but only just scoring 4,718 and 1,733 respectively. That's not a big enough difference to notice any real performance disparity in everyday use. iPhone 13 versus 13 Pro verdict. Overall, all 4 iPhone 13 models are relatively iterative upgrades over their predecessors, but they're nevertheless the best iPhones you can buy today. In our iPhone 13 review, we conclude it's the best iPhone for most people, while the iPhone 13 mini is a good choice for people after a smaller phone from Cupertino. However, we also concluded that the best phone period is the iPhone 13 Pro Max, which could make this choice rather tough. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our Finding Tech channel, and click on the bell icon to keep yourself notified about the latest upcoming videos.